everyone, today I'll be reviewing this new murder mystery thriller dropped on Netflix called Brazen, and it is starring Alyssa Milano, Samuel Page, and this movie is directed by Monica Mitchell. So in this movie we see Grace Miller. She's a murder mystery writer, and when she comes to visit her sister, like in a town, and after that her sister actually got murdered in this movie, and then after her murder, she tried to figure out who murders her sister. And there is also another storyline is Grace Miller. In this movie, she actually meets this detective who just lived next door to her sister, and she just started dating him, and somehow this detective is in charge of her sister murder case. After like when this murder investigate happened in this movie, after a while she start dating this detective, and she like halfway through in this movie you see she's actually become a consultant in this movie to her sister murder mystery in this movie. That is what this movie centers around, this story. But there is also like a main story, and the killer is actually serial killer type story going on here. And what do I think about this movie? I thought this movie was absolutely awful. Like when I was watching, I couldn't believe it. First act is like so slow. Especially, her sister is going to get murdered. Why we're wasting our time, half an hour for her to go out date with this detective? This story is very unnecessary. When I was watching, I'm like, oh my god. And he just lived next door to her. That is so ridiculous. Of course, when we find out the killer, however, although this movie really had rough start, however, the halfway, like I will say, when we start investigate, did become a little interesting, like 1%. Then we go to that when she actually start uncovering the mystery, who is the killer in this movie. That is where this movie completely fell apart. I was like, oh my god, especially this killer, which is, by the way, the minute you met him, he is the killer. So I'm going to be spoiled because I will be like telling you guys about the ending. Obviously, this boy, like the student, like her sister's student, when he comes to the funeral and he sends her flower, this lily flower, and I was like, oh, he's the killer. Of course, he's the son of the mayor. So I don't get it. The last act, the way it was done, she invites this killer to her, then he try to kill her, then like somehow this detective comes and save her. It is so ridiculous. And this boy, he has a crush on her sister because the sister was a teacher, and he was really nice to him, and it reminded him like everything his mom is not in this movie. Like, whoa, what? Really, the killer, the way they like stage him, the way they reveal in this movie, it was really awful. I really wish it was done better. But this director, she was actually going for this, how this Hallmark movies are, like romantic scene, this, and like, especially in the last act, we don't need any romantic scene. We need more information about the killer. No, this movie refused to give anything remotely important about the mystery we are watching. Like, that's why the way this movie was done, I get it, what the director was going for, but it doesn't work when you are making a murder mystery movie. That is really bad decision, I feel like, from her point of view. That is said, I will say about one thing about this movie, that Alyssa Milano, which I never seen her before in this movie, in the last act, the way she was acting is really ridiculous. So the whole movie, the first act, she's so smart. In the last act she becomes this completely silly person. She actually invites this killer to this boy to her home, and like she's just waiting for him to kill her. Like, does that make any sense? Anyway, that's my thought on this movie. I really thought it was so bad. I felt so like awful after watching it. I get it. I get some people will like this movie, like the people they're targeting for. I don't know if the target people will like that much, because they will be like, ooh, because they will not like the last act. This movie was really completely waste of time. Anyway, that's my thought on this movie. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to check out my other review on other Netflix movie. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe and take care.